Alright, today we're having a look at Vanilla Breeze by Kipmonlin. Alright, so here we are in Vanilla Breeze by Kipmonlin, and taking a bit of a gamble on this one because we played a level by Kip on stream. Oh, that was nice, I like that. Also appreciate that we're getting music. Played a level by Kip on stream, and it was LBP2, and it was pretty wacky. So I wanted to take a look at some of their other stuff, see what it was like, but I also wanted to play an LBP1 level because of reasons, and so, you know, we're just hoping that this will work well, I guess, basically. What's going on with that? I really like the look of it. Also, like, nice choice on the music track. Like, it's a good track. The way that they've got it kind of toned down the way it does. I don't know, like, is this like a level-y level? The level that we played on stream was very much a level, and it was a lot. We'll show some bits of that in the takeaway. Like, I like what's going on here, but I also kind of don't feel like there's a flow to it. Like, I don't know necessarily where it wants me to go to. We got all these score bubbles, which I love. Like, you know, go score bubbles. Score bubbles are great. Is this, am I grabbing glass? Is there glitchery going on? I bet there's some glitchery going on, and that's fine, you know, as long as it doesn't break anything. Can I get over there? Yosh! Like, the other level as well had some, I feel like there were player communication issues with that one as well, but, like, at least it seemed to have a through line. I don't know what the through line is here. I don't know, like, where it wants me to go. Also, like, while grabbable glass is kind of neat, on the other hand, it does mean I don't know what's going to be doing what. That's, like, one of the issues I do have with glitching materials like this, is that you just, like, so how do I expect what's gonna be, like, expected from me in the level? You know what I mean? Now, I'm gonna ride this, but, like, I wonder, do I want to be at the center of it? Because, like, you could drop down and layer, right? Like, well, maybe you can't, because maybe you can't, because you're just running. Okay, well, but it looks like you can, because look, there's a gap. Oh, maybe there's a gap on the, and in here. Oh, fudge, look at that. Who's a smart girl? I am. Do I want to be at the center of this? Like, would something neat happen if I were to get to the center of this? But we're not going to do it in like 3 seconds, so fudge me. Oops. Well, this is exciting. I don't know how I feel about this level at all, except that it's kind of neat, but also really weird. Checkpoint? Let's just get to the center, and we'll talk about this back at the hub. We'll see you there. See yas. And we're back, and Vanilla Breeze by Kipmonlin, and I'd say, unfortunately, while it's a very inventive level, and it certainly has its interesting parts to it, I would say ultimately that it's an orange diamond. It's got a number of things I feel that are kind of working against the level, and left me feeling a little bit frustrated with it. Now, to be perfectly honest, I had chosen this level kind of because I wanted a stealth excuse to talk a little bit about Artificial Life, also by Kipmonlin, but I did find a fair amount in this level that I think that does need to be discussed, that could be discussed. And what we saw, the level is basically, you know, what we saw in the first impressions video. We've got this space, and it's like there's a lot of point bubbles, and there's a lot of prize bubbles, and there's a lot of just like interesting things in the space, but as a level I felt like it lacked kind of like a through line. Like, what parts of the level are you supposed to be going to, and how do you move through those parts like in a smooth way that makes you feel like you've still got momentum? You've got, like we saw in the beginning section, although this is throughout the level, where you've just got these set pieces where the score bubbles are like everywhere. So you run along the bottom and you get like all of those score bubbles, but then they're pinwheels, and I will one day remember that the pinwheels are grabbable, because this comes up at least like once a month. You got these pinwheels and they'll throw you up, and now there's like a whole middle section full of score bubbles, and then like, but you can get up even higher than that, and then there's stuff like further up there to see, and it's like, yeah, it's neat, it's cool, and like every little bit is kind of interesting, but then it's like it's all together, and I felt like I didn't know where to go. I didn't know like how Kipmonlin wanted me to progress and engage with this level. So when I played it for the archives, and I went for everything. Like I tried to grab every score bubble that I possibly could. I mean, I usually do that. I try to look around levels and see everything that there is to see, but like I really went all out, and I went for all the score bubbles, and it's like halfway through I was like, kind of, why am I doing this? The actual environment itself, and it's like it's cool in some ways visually. I really liked the color scheme. I made a joke in the video. It's like, oh, it's the trans pride flag colors. It kind of, sort of, like it's not really a what do you call it? Like a bubblegum pink. It's more of like a fuchsia. It's not really a baby blue. It's more of a bold poppy blue. But yeah, the kind of trans colors. But I don't think that means particularly anything. I don't think that there's any in the background there. Although the trans pride flag has been around since 1999. So. Who knows? It was cool to see though. It was kind of cute, and you got like lots of just like cool, cute stuff going on. You got like those the wolf stand-ups that I thought were really nice looking. I thought they were really cool. You've got like the angel bear things that I didn't get. They were vaguely threatening. I didn't really know what to do with those, but yeah, they're in there as well. I love the flying fish section. I thought that was really cool, especially, and I think I know how that wavy animation technique was done. I think what's happening is that you've got like a really long wavy piece of material, and they're just being emitted in as soon as like it passes, so that there would be no gap in between them, almost like a parallax effect. And I was like, it was really neat because it looks like they're actually flowing. It looks like they're actually moving, and like that's a really neat effect. But I do think that it kind of brings us to one of the points that is against this level, and it's really hard on the PS4. I don't mean hard as in difficult. I mean like the PS4 as a machine hates this level. The fans, my exhaust fans, were going almost as hard as when I was playing Last of Us on like PS3. They were going as hard. I think they were going harder than when I was playing Control, and Control is like a very visually busy game. So like there's just like a lot of stuff that's being spawned in. There's a lot of stuff that's moving. I feel like there's weird physicsy stuff going on as well, because sometimes like you've got like jumps aren't flowing the way I feel like they're supposed to be flowing, and it's just like it's a real drain on the system. You don't have too much lag, surprisingly, but I was like legitimately a little bit worried that like it was just gonna crash, that it just did not want to deal with it. And I don't think Kip, I don't think that you had to go that hard. I don't think you necessarily needed to break my system. You didn't break it. If you're watching this, I doubt it, but if you're watching it, you didn't break my system. But I think that like maybe going a little bit less hard would have been okay, like perfectly okay. There is like a lot of in gameplay section. You got a fair amount of working with balloons, and I hate that. The balloons are just so slow, and it just feels like there's no momentum whenever you're on them. And there's one particularly long section where I think you might be able to brick the level. I should have tested it a little bit more fully. What you've got is like you've got 4 balloons, and you've got a very long section that you're gonna have to be going up, and you can't really see what's like coming up ahead. So what I was doing like the first time through is I kept on dropping off the balloons and like grabbing like score bubbles along the way down, and then like I realized that I was down to my last balloon, and I didn't know how I was going to get out of this section because there doesn't seem to be any other way out of the section. And so I mean, I got out. I used that last balloon to get out, but like what if you got like 4 players and you just get rid of all the balloons? Does the level, like, are you just stuck? I feel like you might be just stuck, and that's kind of a bit of an issue because it's deep enough in the level where I don't think like players would probably want to play it again, just to complete it, if they soft locked it. So that's that's kind of a bit of an issue. Neat thing, the glitched glass, so you could grab the glass, and that's always kind of interesting. I always think that's kind of a little bit neat to see. But yeah, like Vanilla Breeze, it's an experience, and it's an experience that I kind of sort of recommend because like it's really neat. It's really wild that it was done in LBP 1, and it's like it's just a lot visually to take in, and it's cool, and you might have a good time with it. But like as a level that I would go back to willingly if I hadn't been like reviewing it, needing to play it for B-rolls, I wouldn't. And that does bring us, I think, to the Artificial Life. Artificial Life is a level that we ran into on stream. It's in LBP 2, and it's really interesting. You've got like a lot of playing about with momentum. Unfortunately, a lot of it does have to do with balloons. You've got like sections where like there's sackbots, and they've got paintnaders, and you're trying to be shot up, like you're jumping off of the paint to get higher with this balloon to knock some things off, and like it's all really interesting ideas in concept. It's a very, very cool level in concept, and musically, by the way, it is fantastic. Like I love the music in that level. I thought it was really, really cool. But in actual like play sense, oh my god, it was so frustrating. I got through this second time because I wanted it for B-rolls, and I'm playing it for the archive, and like it says in real world terms that like my video file is 20 minutes long, but it feels forever because you've got these bits where like you've got to attract the sackbot over. It's going to shoot at you with the paintnader, but like there's a wall blocking the way, so it's actually going to be shooting these targets. You got to get it to kill all the targets, but actually getting it to follow you to hit the targets is such a pain in the butt, and it just took forever to do. That being said, like the level has one of the coolest little bits of simple animation. I mean, I say it's simple, but I imagine it was actually fairly difficult to put together, particularly in LBP 2, where you've got like, I don't even know what they are because they're almost translucent, so I don't think they're paint. But these globs that are just circling around each other in figure 8 patterns, like in layers, and it's amazing looking, and it's just kind of like magic. And we got to that point in the stream, and it was like, oh my god, like how did Kip pull this off? Because this is so freaking cool, and it is so freaking cool, and the level is so freaking cool. It's like it's really, really neat, and I actually do recommend it, but I do recommend it with the caveats that it can be very frustrating. I would love to take a look at more of Kip's levels on stream and probably on archive, because they've got a lot of them, and I really want to see what they were doing, because they're playing around really hard with like what the engine can do, and how the physics in the game work, and that is super, super cool. It did lead to a few things in Artificial Life where it was my jumps were definitely lagging, and I was not getting like the error that I really should have been getting for the input that I was doing. So that's a bit of a problem, and sometimes when we do these levels that really stretch the engine, that really push things, that is a result that you are going to get, and that is, it can be a bit frustrating. But in this case, I think it's a frustration that is definitely worth the experience, because it's like, it is pretty super cool. Vanilla Breeze, like, do you need to play it? I recommend it. like, I think Vanilla Breeze is neat, but I would definitely also more strongly recommend Artificial Life. But I think that pretty much does it for us here this go about. I've got to get moving. I am so busy. There is so much going on. I've got to go to, there's a clinic I got to go to. I went to a clinic yesterday. I'm trying to get like a diagnosis so that I can get on HRT, and I'm like excited, and I've got positive momentum, and it's a little bit scary, but it's also very I got these butterflies in my stomach. I feel like I'm taking these really big steps, and it's wonderful, and it's great, and it's so cool, but it's also like everything needs to be done today. So I gotta go. I gotta go. It's Monday the 7th, and this has got to be up on the 11th, and oh, I am so busy, folks. I love you all. Thank you so much for all the support. I am in a spot, but I'm in a much better spot right now than I was a couple of weeks ago, and I'll take that. So from me, Isco, here in Tokyo, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.